Daybreak has announced they'll be releasing the 64-bit client for EverQuest soon and discontinuing the 32-bit client. They're expecting early 2022 after the launch of their newest expansion, the Terror of Luclin, which I've made a video breaking it down in great detail, so go check that out if you haven't. This will give performance upgrades to this classic MMORPG, but also they mentioned higher resolution options as well. This, I believe, to be a direct comment on in-game texture resolutions and also possibilities. There has been leaks abound. This something is stirring for EverQuest for the past couple of years, something big, something exciting, and I think this release of the 64-bit client is step one of a much larger story happening at Daybreak. I know that very few are a fan of Daybreak after the absolute poop show of EverQuest Next being cancelled, but under their new leadership so far, they have improved drastically. Before we get into it, drop me a like and subscribe if you enjoy RPG content, MMORPGs, JRPGs, CRPGs, all the RPGs. Now let's hear from our sponsors and then let's play some speculation a bit. Before we begin, I want to give a major shout out to the members of Napalm. I could not do this without you. You are the sponsors of this channel, and I thank you for your contribution, allowing me to keep making videos on MMOs, RPGs, and of course, puppets. If you are interested in becoming a member of Napalm, please click the join button down below. It is greatly appreciated. And a very special shout out to the Lords of Napalm, Bounty Code, We Tote Bitcoins, Jared Woodhouse, and Daimlos. Thank you for your highest tier membership. Alright, so EverQuest is getting a client upgrade to 64-bit, and before I start going off the deep end with speculation and what all it could mean, it's worth pointing out the obvious. If EverQuest doesn't move to 64-bit, their days are numbered before Microsoft quits supporting 32-bit altogether. Now, obviously, there will be workarounds and compatibility options, but it doesn't change the fact that this is absolutely necessary if they want to continue supporting EverQuest in the future. Now, you will need to be running a 64-bit operating system, such as Windows 7 or 10 or the upcoming 11, if it's even worth getting, we'll see. And Daybreak also gave out some new recommended system specs. I'll drop those specs in the description down below if you're interested. But what I really want to talk about is what this update could mean long term. Let's say that they really are working on an updated graphical system with hopefully an updated UI for the classic EverQuest to breathe some new life and bring in new players instead of relying on regurgitating their old school fan base with yearly OG servers in the form of TLPs. Although they get us every time on that one, it does always bring in some new players. The elephant in the room is that it doesn't bring much new players. It mainly just funnels all their existing fan base into one or two new servers, and we are getting a little long in the tooth, which by the way racks the servers in epic proportions when they do that and further damages their reputation. Now, if they were to be actually remaking, in quotations, EverQuest in one form or another, they wouldn't want to alienate those that want the classic graphics. By offering the 64-bit client to run the MMO as we know it now, they could allow for the updated graphics to run simultaneously, so players have the choice how they want to play, and could honestly cause quite a wave in the MMORPG space, in my opinion. Everybody knows EverQuest. Many can't fully enjoy its outdated systems and or its outdated graphics. This doesn't affect people generally who played EverQuest back in the day. We find these old graphics charming, and I thought for years that the charm was just natural and not tied to nostalgia, until I brought people into Norrath who had never been there before, and their reactions to things I found normal were, well, eye-opening, to say the least. Now, the only real reason I think this is actually the big plan, and that this 64-bit client is but the first step, is there have been rumors circling that there is something big and exciting coming for EverQuest. Even with my contacts, I've heard, just be BS, but I've heard some pretty interesting things happening, or planned to happen, I should say. And of course, the largest clamor from the fans have been for a long time to update the stinking game, both graphically and system-wise. Having the 64-bit client will help with allowing more RAM to be utilized, server talk for various activities and the like that will drastically improve your EverQuest life in Norrath. But it also opens some possibilities for the future. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If EverQuest was even remotely modern looking and feeling, a ton of curious MMO lovers would come give it a shot that would never come check it out in its current state. Also, this would boost the morale of EverQuest fans who feel, for good reason, that they've been smacked across the face several times by Daybreak. And if they can do something to establish any sort of positive reputation in their favor, it would be very beneficial to the future of this IP and, of course, the future of Daybreak itself. And absolutely nothing could compare to revitalizing the OG EverQuest. Now, I've been saying Daybreak this whole time. Technically now it's Darkpaw Games. Whatever. You get the joke, right? What they could do is launch a brand new set of servers to kick off the grand reveal of EverQuest Returns. I made that up, but you can have it, Daybreak. It is the same world, it's the same game, same basic principles, but running on a much cleaner UI and with updated, modern-ish graphics. Charge $39.99 for the upgrade, have a sub even if you like, and remove the cash shop at least for a little while, please, and watch the money pour in like a tidal wave. It would absolutely work. EverQuest is known. People just don't want to play in an extremely outdated client unless they have previous relations and comfortability with the existing EverQuest from the past. Print money, Daybreak, and do it. And I honestly believe that is exactly what they have been working on, and I think that this project has been going for the past at least few years, and I think EG7's purchase of Daybreak could have possibly had a lot to do with what they saw that they were doing and also saw the dollar signs that it would represent. I would personally love almost nothing more than to see EverQuest become relevant in the MMO space once again, to see new people enjoying this timeless world and the epic dungeons and group play that it has. What do you all think? Does it sound possible, or at least plausible? Would you be excited to hear this is what they have planned? Would you give Daybreak another shot if they did something like this? Or do you think the 64-bit client is nothing more than preparing for 32-bit to no longer be supported, and we will get some bonuses in performance, etc. from it? Let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing what you had to say or think on these subjects. Leave me a like to help the YouTube algorithm, guys, and until next time, my friends, God bless and happy gaming.